Hello everyone, this is Dan from TradeUnity. I wanted to show you the analysis I made for the new and old settings, also known as the V1 for initial settings and V2 for the new settings. Well, the thing is that during this analysis we also discovered a new model of settings which we are using now for the gold settings. So the recommendation for the old ones is to tune them down to a very small risk, or maybe even pause them depending what you want, because we realize that this model may not be so good as the new one, and while we are building something similar, we would rather have a low risk on these ones. Anyway, let's go through them and see what is better. So for each of them I will make custom analysis. We'll start with EURUSD from a $200 deposit for the whole period. Gonna do the same in this V2 one. Okay, and now let's see. This is the curve. So EURUSD had a drawdown of 3.68% on the on the V1 settings and 2.32% on the V2 settings. So in this case, the simulations were confirmed, and the V2 seems like a better choice, even if it's been just 1 month being backed up by the simulations. I would say that V2 is preferable. Just remember, if you continue using it, use it on very low risk, like 0.01 lots. That would be even better, or a fixed lot that you are comfortable with. Um, perhaps the drawdown is over and we're gonna start seeing some good um, results here. The new settings have 42% win so far, while the old ones have the same 42%. Um, Here the average loss is smaller, while here the average loss is bigger, and that should be the difference, which means we actually get a lot more break-even trades with the new one. Okay, so recommendation is V2 in this case for EURUSD. Let's pass to Great British Pound. Alright, so it has a 1.63% drawdown, which is not that much considering what has happened in the market lately, while the new settings have 1.33% drawdown. So in this case, again, the new settings come on top. The win rate is 84%, which is remarkable. The average win is not very big, it's 24 cents, while the average loss is minus 1.83. These settings, mm, let's just see the history a bit. I'm looking for the biggest trade was $1. Alright, and here we have a win rate of 72%, not bad at all, but the average loss is smaller actually, while the average win is bigger. So I would say both settings are more or less the same, with a small advantage to the V2. Also the simulations back up the V2, so the recommendation would be V2, but also again leave it at a very small risk if you're gonna continue trading it. Moving on, we have the USD GBI on the 4-hour chart. Let's see how that looks. This is a bit tricky because the new V2 model is actually closer to the gold trade, but the results are somehow inconclusive. I guess there was just a trade now because we have a 0.13% gain on the V1 settings, while on the V2 settings we have a minus 1.43. So in this case, the recommendation, pretty much I have no choice but to stick to the V1 settings, although I will keep an eye on them because, as I said, this model is supposed to give better overall wins. And yeah, you can see here we have 40% trades with the average loss being very small, while here we have 67%, but the average loss is a lot bigger. Okay, so recommendation for this is V1. And the last thing that we're gonna see, we're gonna skip the gold trade, which has its own video. We're gonna check the gold trade on the daily um, time frame. Go to magic numbers and select the magic number. Alright, so the first setting had 4 trades, 4 lost trades, and I don't like that at all. Minus 5.42% drawdown. The average, yeah, 2.7, that's a normal loss. While here we only had 3 trades, that's interesting. And yeah, with a drawdown of 1.5%. Let's just look at the trades a bit. Now there were also 4 trades, while here were 5. So, no, it's counting the deposit too. So, the trades here were 2 full stop losses and 2 demi stop losses, while here we had 2 break-evens and 1 full stop loss. Well, the recommendation sticks with either V2, either don't trade it at all, since now we have a much better plan on the 4-hour chart. Until we rebuild this, you can even either trade this with a very small risk or don't trade it at all, because it seems like we have something bigger going on there. Although these settings are similar to the ones the H4 has, I'm gonna stick with this recommendation for now. Okay, that's it. To recap, the EURUSD is going to have the recommendation of V1, the Great British Pound, the V2, sorry, for EURUSD it's V2, for Great British Pound is V2. The Japanese yen you should trade on V1, but keep an eye on the V3, on the V2, and the gold the gold daily chart should either not be traded or be traded with a very small risk. Alright, I hope you find this recommendation useful, and if you have any questions about the new setups, please address them via the support button on our site or via our chat group. Have great trades.